Because, yeah, I was sitting there, I'm like, well, Emu wants to play 5 cards. If they do, my card is now a minus, and they want to swing 7s. I'm like, my card is now a -8. It's a -8. It's 8K counter. I'm like, get fucked. What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and I am joined with my friend Jansuko. Some of y'all might know the GOAT, but he just finished top 16, and this is not OP12. This is OP13. Emu is real, and we've got Rayleigh coming in at top 16. Congrats on the run. How are you feeling?
A little upset that if I won one more game, which was really close, then I would have had the serial Zoro. But I think it's still a good performance for Rayleigh.
Got it. You love to see it. Yeah, you always got to be grateful for the win, but you always got to be hungry for a little bit more, especially when you get so close. But there's always the next one. However, let's go ahead. So, do you remember your matchups? This is what I'm most curious on. What did you play today?
So round one was a no-show. So that was like, it would have been nice to lose that early, so I could just go back to
Go
sleep.
home.
But round one was a no-show. Round two, I faced against a green Zoro. Round three, I faced against an Emu. Round four was a friendly fire with a testing buddy of mine. He goes by Ducky. By Ducky, he's in X3. Actually dropped. Round five was another green Zoro. Beat that. Round six was another Emu. Beat that again. Hey man, unblockable, unblockable. What could I say?
Pretty busted. Pretty busted.
Yeah, we can't
Unblockable.
draw.
Use every event.
Yeah, we can't draw if we never hit the blocker. um, and then this is when I started losing. Round seven, I played against an ace. He won die roll, went second, went searcher into Marco, into 8-drop beard, into 10-drop beard, into Atmos. So he actually just like drew half his fucking deck in like the span of like 2 turns, which sucked for me because he kept finding counter to stay alive and kept finding more options. Um, but still a good player nonetheless. And then round eight, I lost to a green Zoro because he also won die roll. He also took second, and then he goes Hiyori Searcher into 4-cost Zoro Koshiro into Law Tashigi. Next turn Law Tashigi. Next turn played 2 Koshiros with a blocker up, and I was like with a law blocker. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? He had so much pressure. He had the nuts. He also triggered a Nami searcher out of life. So that's how he found the second Tashigi. So it was just an unwinnable game that I couldn't do much about. I tried to bring it close, but like I said, he just had too many blockers and he had enough counter to stop the initial swings. Because I had enough swings to get there. Granted, he wasn't able to guard one of them, and he guarded like the one with like a bunch of 1Ks. So I was like, yeah. And then the final round was against Red Green Luffy. This one caught
Red
me off by
Green
surprise.
Luffy?
Yeah, dude. Like
You ruining dreams.
And the funny part was, it wasn't like the go-to build. It was like an animal build. So it was running like the choppers in it. And his red chopper hit every single time, which was like 4 times. It hit a body 4 times in tandem with the event. So I was like, yo, I have to fight for board when his entire board and face gets like free counter with the leader ability. This is rough, but I went wide one turn with a bunch of Zoro rushers and 2-cost Luffy's. Which, funny by the way, he couldn't get rid of my 2-cost Luffy because it can't be KO'd by strike attribute characters, and all of his cards are strike attributes. So it literally sat on the board the whole game. It was like Buggy against Zoro.
Wow. Yeah, it comes up because his leader strike and then all the choppers are strike.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so those are my matchups.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and dive through. Let's jump into the deck.
So I built this list like literally a couple of days ago because I was bored. I felt like since Bonnie's not really in the meta anymore, we don't have to compromise for space to forcibly have Mole Pistol in it. So
Yeah,
instead,
baby.
I like maxed out on like the events. Obviously the unblockable you want to max out on. Max out on armament because it helps push for a game in a lot of senses. Gatling is another hit for Nami on top of being like a game ender, and the trigger goes off sometimes, which is pretty nice. On like a chibi, like a small blocker or something. Um, I'm running 3 of the 2-cost Luffy. This card actually performed a lot better than I expected it to, because I felt like if there's going to be a good amount of Zoros, I would want to have my 4-cost Luffy be like at least juiced up enough to be able to defend more confidently, and he's just another 5k swing, or 6 if I like put an extra Dawn on him. But the fact that he gets to get free Dawn every turn after I like play something is like the value is insane. It's like just as much as Buggy is a free 5k swing, Luffy's also a free 5k swing, and it's just too good. It's also like Omega searchable by like the Namis and the like the event Luffy searchers. So I feel like I always have at least a Luffy in hand, whether it's like the 4-cost or the 2-cost. But having a body come up a lot more often in a deck that has so many events feels good. And then, yeah, obviously the 2 Gatling help, push for game. I was thinking about Fire Doll from set 3 because I
Yep.
noticed a lot of people were running that in Asia.
It's a great card. It's 4K. I would love that card if it could be anything. It has to be your leader though, which has always been my
Yeah, it
gripe with
has to
that.
be leader, which it makes sense because it was built for Red Ace. Shout out my boy, Red Ace.
Yo,
I love
miss
that
him
deck.
every day.
Me too, man. But yeah, and then it has a funny -10 trigger, which could come up as like a Mickey
It
Mouse,
it,
like
it wins game. It's literally it's Veggie. It's Veggie.
It's like I win, you lose. GG, shake my hand. It's like
I've
yeah,
won at least one game that way.
that's awesome. But yeah, I didn't have enough testing with Fire Doll yet, so I just opted to just play the Gatlings, and it still helps because we can be flexible with how we allocate the power on our characters. So Gatling is for sure like really really strong, but I do want to mess with Fire Doll. Yeah, that's the list. It's I would say a bit standard. It's just more consistent heavy. Oh, and then I have the one Brook. I don't have too many 2Ks in here because it's like I don't really want to like the 2Ks I want to use as 2Ks is mostly Conqueror's Hockey and probably Color of Arms, or to Never Doubt depending on the situation. But I never really kind of sat there and been like, man, I need more 2Ks. It's more just like I need more bodies. I need more bodies, and I ran out. So just the one Ukra, just for to allocate for Nami's search hits, and then just have like another possible body to call out with the Luffy forecast.
Got it. And then so I know a lot of people are bouncing between Zoros and then Kid Killers. Of course, Zoro adding a slightly more consistency. Did you miss Kid Killer at all? Were there any instances where you were kind of like, "Oh, I really wish I had Kid Killer," or were you like, because you played one Zoro, you only played one, or did you play two?
Wait, what do you mean?
How many?
Oh, I played 3
You
Zoros.
played three Zoros, and you only lost to one though. You lost to one.
Yeah, I lost to one, but that's because he saw the nuts. He like high rolled the hell out of me.
Got
I
it.
feel like if he didn't see freaking forecast Zoro into log to Shigi in consecutive turns, then I would have had it. But I feel like any deck probably just lose to that, right?
Lots
Like
Tashigi
Zoros
is really good,
insane.
especially when you don't have Mole Pistol. That's like the one
Yeah,
thing they play. I go. It goes four. I save my body. Then I go Mole Pistol. Remove your Tashigi. Turn everything sideways, and then potentially even
yeah.
establish another body, because you can, if you going first, you can on uh 7. You can play out Mole Pistol and a Sanji. So even if you let a body go and you don't have a body that qualifies, you can play a Sanji and then Mole Pistols also there.
Yeah. And for Mole Pistol, it's like there isn't really anything that's like get off the board immediately, and K kind of doesn't exist because so many decks can just deal with it so easily. So Yeah, don't really miss Mo Pistol. It was nice, during the time that we were forced to have it.
Yeah.
But right now it's kind of just like, yeah, I'm just trying to kill you as fast as I can. It's up to you if you can deal with my board or not. Like, we don't have to worry about your board anymore. Now you have to worry about our board all the time now.
Yeah, yeah, and there's not a lot of removal. So all these bodies have to be swung into, especially against like
Yeah,
Ace. It's a 6K swing they have to commit because if they don't have
exactly.
Garp, because Izo's not going to be able to swing into anything. They don't have Garp.
Yeah.
They can't even do a trade. And if not, you're going to smack them in the head again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they do, allocate Dawn to guard, it's like, okay, let me give you like, sure, like I don't need too many of my Namis. I'll just give you a 1K for it. It's like now you have to use your Ace leader to swing at this tiny little 2K. Like GG's, man. It's like you have to get rid of it because if you don't, it's gonna poke you again and keep ripping your cards over and over. Especially if they don't see a four cost Marco, like it's just so cooked for Ace. If they don't see at least 2 Marcos, they see one, it's like still kind of like iffy because it's like, okay, they played their Marco that was probably like the majority of their turn, and then you're just like, okay, 6 lead, 6 lead, 6 lead, 6 lead. It's like, oh, I had to drop like all these cards out of my hand. Okay, I blocked the last one to refill, but it's like, okay, well, you still dropped all those 2Ks because you run so many 2Ks, and then, or you probably like dish like a break or something, and it's like, now you have no board, and I still have my board, and you have nothing to work off of besides like whatever Marco just drew you, which is still good for Ace, but like not. I still think it's like really rough for Aces. Like a lot of the times I would ask my Ace opponents like, "Hey, how many cards in hand?" To be like 4, or they'd be like, "Yeah, I have 5 cards." It's like, "Oh, we in there,"
Yeah. Yeah. Because they like they're a worse UP in the fact that they're not going to draw as many cards, and their cards aren't going to replace themselves. Like when they counter out, they're not replacing it. So in theory, they have less cards, and UP was easier. Like I've been thinking about this because I think it's the most underrated next to Red Green Luffy, which is why it's so unfortunate that you had to play them because I think that deck is also really, really good because you get so much for free, but Rayleigh also hits you really hard, and it hits you a lot and really hard. It does both, which both decks right now do not like.
Yeah.
And you have unblockable, and you don't have to you don't have Roger, but you can just chain unblockables and still just not lose. You're like, boom, oh, you're at 0, oh, and then then you smack them a bunch, and you can still smack them some more.
Yeah, turn 2 lethal with this deck is disgusting. It's like, you poke them with like your Zoros, your Luffys, maybe your Sanjis, blah blah blah. They start dishing hands like, okay, unblockable 9. It's like, damn, I guess I got to take that. And then the next turn, it's like, yeah, unless you kill me, you're dead.
yeah. Because you're gonna go like 20. You're like, oh, height score time. Color of arms, color of arms, color of arms, color of arms. Gum King Kong, buff. I'll play To Never Doubt. That is power attached to 20 unblockable. Like,
I kid you not. There's like at least 3 to 4 games where it would get to that point, and I'm just like, oh, okay, color of arms, Gatling, unblockable. 18 lead.
yeah, like you're like, come get a lick at, like, you push for your high score is what Impact would always say. But cool. So, how do you feel that? Right, we know Rayleigh of OP12, but how do you think the path to win changed with the new meta with these new decks? Because in my mind, right, I'm thinking of Ace as like UP, but they can pudding you. I don't know if you got puddinged in any of your games, but pudding, like, UP loses a lot of momentum to pudding, so it's almost better for you to be pudding. I don't know if you felt the same way in the instances of Ace, but kind of talk about how the games went about and like how your approach to winning, if it changed at all, if we're still just doing 5s, 6s, then 8s, then 10s and whatnot.
I actually did get put in once in one of my games, and thankfully it drew me 3 searchers, so the 3rd searcher found the unblockable funny enough against an Ace, but the fact that I almost lost because of that was like, yeah, but it was funny because he hit me to 5 cards, 5, and then he's still putting me anyway because he knew I had an unblockable. So it was like, oh, huge reset. And it's funny because I had one in hand, and then I got one off of life, and then he went pudding, and I was like, I have to find that really bad.
You're like, I needed
I ended
that,
up finding
sir.
it, so that was good. But I would say it depends on the leader, right? So with Emu, you kind of just want to poke them out as many times as you can. There will be times where you go a little higher, say like, you keep poking five, 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 whatever. But if there's ever an instance where they don't have Dawn up, you just blast them because funny enough, like although Emu's like this tanky deck, it's only really tanky if it has Dawn up. So if they don't have Dawn up, you can start singing your sevens and
Yes.
eights and just get like fucking burned through their hand. Um, for Ace, it's kind of like similar to UP, where you poke them out with sixes a couple turns, and then you get to a point where it's like, okay, swing eight, like leader ability Sanji, swing eight, and it's like they either have to burn their leader ability then and there, or they 2K 1K. But the fact that they still have to drop two cards at that point, and a matchup where they're probably only around 5 to 6 cards in hand anyway, is really tough for them. Um, Zoro's kind of always been the same, where you kind of like rush them down. I would say you still have to pay attention like very closely to how people counter, because there are many times where like say like you start testing for 2Ks, right? You swing a six, and the second you see them drop 1K, they're dead. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you don't have it. Okay, swing six again. They take, and it's like, okay, 7, 8, blast, blast. So I would say I got carried today by my fundamentals because I just know how to bait, a certain amount of counter out using Rayleigh, his ability with the deck. So I feel like that's like a really big skill that not many people have when it comes to Rayleigh, like knowing how to get cards, like specific cards and info out of their hand.
Hmm.
So as long as you have, that fundamental down, I feel like any matchup you can kind of just run over as long as you like, see the right cards and draw like okay-ish. Like
Yep.
even in the games where I don't see my forecast Luffy, it's like, all right, Buggy, Luffy, Nami, get in there. Let's
Yeah.
start ripping and baiting cards. So where it gets to a late point in the game where it's like, oh, okay, now I can just like swing like really big, like multiple times, and I know they can't counter because I already tested for all this, like all these 2Ks and counter in their hand. So it is very helpful to to keep track of that.
Amazing. And then based off of just like you're playing today, what do you think is the best matchup for this deck right now?
In a funny way, it's kind of Emu because I feel, which is funny because Emu's like this fucking god deck, whatever. It still is, but Emu can't really get rid of multiple bodies. It kind of just can get rid of one at a time, maybe two if it's like a rested card and they swing the ball guy at it. But um, yeah, if you keep pooping out all your weenies and swinging for like value fives, they have to keep using and allocating their swings to swing at it. If they build a board. And funny enough, I played against both the first cost stage and the seven cost stage, and I feel like you probably have a much easier time using the seven cost stage because I know there's like this thing with like the emus where there's like, oh, if it's an aggro deck, just grab the first, then the one cost stage so you can like cheat out your stuff quick. But it's like I feel like Rayleigh puts you on such a like minute timer that like even if you do get to your emu turn or sorry your five elders turn, you're tapped out. That's no done. You're cooked. I just zero cost you.
Yeah.
Or if I still have my board, it's like, okay, it's like, put them in a position to where if they play five elders, they just lose. And that's what happened for my matches. Like one match, one of the guys he couldn't even get to play because by the time he got to play it, it was over. And the other person, he was able to play it, but he was already at zero. And because I already like zero cost blasted him the previous turn.
Hmm.
And I was like, all right, I'm putting you on turn two. So you either kill me next turn or you lose. He goes for his five elders play, but it's not enough. Because, I had I think I had a Gatling and arms in hand with the unblockable. Because I just hoard those until the end of the game.
Yep.
So yeah, so I feel like Rayleigh's one of the very few decks that can actually rush Emu down before they get to their five elders turn, so you can like actually win the game against them. um, Yeah, that's why I think it's like easier just being able to flood the board multiple times. They can't really starve you. We have so many searchers on top of ways to like replenish our hand as long as you're very smart about your resources.
Yeah.
That's why I think like this event is really strong. And then obviously the searchers, like I'm applying a body that can swing next turn, and then I'm adding a card and replacing it with something like possibly better. So not being starved out by them is just really strong. A really strong card against them is the 3 cost Sanji, and then the 2 cost Luffy, because these will always get their value out one way, one way or another. Because even if they do kill this,
You get a card.
you get a card, so it replaces itself.
Yeah.
And then as for Luffy, as you're doing like like your normal Luffy combos, whatever, right? He's like, okay, punch for 5, and it's like, okay, leader ability on Buggy, hit for 5. Get put attach free down to Luffy, hit 5 again, hit however much with your leader. Maybe you have like a Zoro on the board, and it's like at that point, it's like, man, he's running me down. I have to keep ditching my cards just to stay healthy in life, because if I don't stay healthy, I just lose. Like especially for Emu, because Emu needs to guard pretty conservatively, because if they don't, then they're just gonna get ran down unless they're like super confident and they see like all 4 of them never existed. But like it is what it is at that point. But that's why Rayleigh's so good at just like poking out the counter cards and getting rid of them, to the point where, I swung 5 and they had to counter with a +3, and it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like you feel
that's the
good.
stuff.
That's the good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I think Rayleigh's best matchup out of the 3 is probably Emu. A Zoro, we're advantageous into them, but it's still losable. It's probably more losable now because of the 6 cost law. Just bouncing, doing all that crazy law stuff. But yeah, just them being able to like bounce a searcher, play Tashigi, or like literally do anything with that kind of Don. It's like they get a future blocker and they just poop out 2 like 6+ Ks bodies out for generally nothing, because they're both breaks, but you're replacing the card with a counter most of the time, whether it's like a 2K Mihawk or like a searcher that you can use for later to help you like find more of your pieces, right? So Zoro's still scary, but it's still beatable. It's like probably, I would say it's more so 55-45 now, Rayleigh favored, because of the 4 cost Zoro that keeps you standing itself, and then the law.
Yeah.
Zoro is really annoying for pressure and just to train to your board. And the 6 cost law is a phenomenal card. Ace, just treat him like UP, but without Gum Gum Giant. That probably already sounds appealing as is.
Literally, like I'm telling you, I've been tweeting about it like the past 2 days, because I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like,
I know
this feels really good.
Guys, I'm not coping, I swear.
Dude, I'm like, it seems good into Emu. I was like, it's worse UP, so like it's better. And then I'm like, Zoro, we always beat Zoro. Like Zoro cried when they played against us. I was like, what? I was like, this sounds really good.
Mhm.
Awesome. So, but let me ask you this then. So I know you mentioned when Emu is tapped out, you kind of just blast face. So early game, they kind of do that sometimes. Would you prioritize hitting their face then over establishing more threats, or how did you kind of balance that?
So I made it to where I could swing at least 2, maybe 3 times a turn, and then place 2 more bodies down. So how my turns would usually go is like the first turn, or turn 2 would just be like establish like 2 searchers if possible. If I'm going first, just the 1, it's fine. And then just try to poke them out. I kind of also treated it sort of like doing a Zoro, like a red Zoro setup, where like they just pull out a bunch of like weenies, and then they just choose 1 turn to say screw you, and then go 5-5-5-5-5 or 6-6-6-6-6, right? So I kind of treated it like that, because Emu has no way of getting rid of our stuff, unless they are at least 5 Dawn with the 1 cost stage, or if they're at 6 Dawn with the 7 cost stage. Because the only way to actually just get rid of stuff on site is with Marcus Mars, or which would happen is that they use their +3K event
Yeah.
to tap 6 Dawn to pop, which happened to my Luffy, and I was like, You know what? That's a 3K out of his hand. I'm fine with that.
And it's 6 Dawn. It's a 3K and 6 Dawn. I'll take that every day.
Yeah,
it's
like,
yours.
that's his whole turn. This also helps encourage them to like. I mean, they can't swing at you because if they do, then they give you more cards, and they can't swing at your board. So as you're setting up your board, they're kind of just in a position where it's like, man, this really sucks because now I can if I hit him, that's more cards, and he didn't swing with his bodies, so I can't trade into them. So I just have an onslaught waiting for me. But if they do, do like the normal route of like playing the game where they actually do hit you and stuff, that's fine too because they're just adding more fuel to the flame.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah,
got
I
it.
do like seeing me some emus now. Now I like seeing the person deck.
You know what? We take those. We do. Awesome. Well, any final words of advice or anything you would like to say about the
Make sure you know your matchups correctly. You approach every matchup slightly differently with this leader. Shout outs to my girlfriend. She told me to play Green Zoro, but she couldn't get me the list in time. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Rayleigh. So by proxy, she helped me. She helped me go on this win path because she didn't get the list for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then shout out to KFJ, my testing group. We all love each other. And we all like to help get each other, better at the game. So yeah, good stuff.
Also, shout out JCM and the Azuki mat. Hashtag where is mine? Thank you.
Hashtag Azuki trading card game. JCM. John, you're the GOAT.
Yeah, where my stuff at?
Coming out soon.
Address in the comments below. No. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much and congrats once again.
Thank you.